Welcome to Lesson 3, Calculate Simple Moving Averages. A moving average is another tool that we have to help us identify trends in the market. A simple moving average looks like this. This blue line is a moving average, and you can compare it to the fluctuations of the candlestick chart that's also embedded on this page. A moving average is really just a statistical tool, and you can see that it smooths the daily price fluctuations. So that way you're not focused on all these lows and highs. It gives you more of a smooth trend to follow. It helps you because it can make it easy to spot those trends. But the one thing is that it is a lagging indicator. It does use past data. Since we're using moving averages, we're using the average of past data to help us develop this trend line. But basically, it's an arithmetic mean of closing prices over a given period of time. We're going to look at a short video clip that explains simple moving average, and then we'll run through some examples.
Moving average is a technical indicator that refers to an average price for a particular trading instrument over a specified period. Moving averages are used by investors and traders to track and identify trends by smoothing normal day-to-day price fluctuations. There are various moving average lengths. A 20-day moving average, for example, calculates the average price of a specific instrument over the past 20 days. A 20-day moving average can be seen here as the blue line. Investors can use this line as a support or resistance level indicator and base trades around it. Moving averages are calculated by adding up the previous X number of periods and dividing that sum by the total number of periods. For example, a 5-day moving average is calculated by totaling the previous 5 days' price data and dividing by 5, a simple arithmetic mean. Each time a new period occurs, the moving average moves forward, dropping the first data point and adding the newest one. As a technical indicator, a moving average appears as a smooth, curving line that provides a visual representation of a stock's longer-term trend. Faster moving averages with shorter look-back periods are choppier. Slower moving averages with longer look-back periods are smoother.
And that was our video explaining simple moving average. And hopefully from the video you have learned that you can decide how many days you look back. You can do a 5-day moving average, a 10, a 20, even a 30-day moving average. But whatever you choose will change the way your trend line looks. It'll become more smooth the longer you look back. Let's go ahead and look at an example. Here are the closing prices for 10 consecutive days for a particular stock. What we want to do is calculate the 5-day simple moving average. So what we need to do is find the averages in groups of 5. So here's our days and here's our closing prices. So originally we'll look at the first 5 days and we'll find the average. Then we'll move down, we'll drop off day 1 and we'll add on day 6 and find the average of those 5 days, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and do that. The average of our first 5 days mean that we take all these closing prices, add them up, and divide by 5 to get approximately $35.22. Now we move on to the next 5 days and we do the same thing. Notice that each time the first day is dropped off and then we add another day. And we'll continue to do that for the next 5 days and the next 5 days and one more, and there's the last one. So now we have our 5-day moving average for our stock prices. So let's graph that and see how it looks. So here are our 5-day moving average that I've recorded, that we calculated. And what's graphed right now is the actual stock prices. Notice that we have some big fluctuations, especially up here. We have a pretty big peak and then we have a valley down here. So what happens when we graph our simple moving average. Notice that it really smooths out the trend and it helps us to better make predictions about when to buy and sell our stock. Typically what happens is we have a floor, and when the stock hits the floor, many times it will bounce back up. If this becomes a ceiling, then a lot of times it will go below and bounce back down. And that's the way stock investors will look at the simple moving averages. There are some other measures they'll look at as well, but that's just one tool. And that concludes our lesson on simple moving averages. So at this point, hopefully you feel comfortable calculating the 5-day or 10-day or 20-day simple moving average based on stock prices, and that you can then plot those on the graph. Notice down here I have my trading days on the x-axis and my closing price on the y-axis, along with a title.